Doubt it. Jump back into the fierce conversations because that's what we do. We have fierce conversations because we're so daggone amazing. You dig me? Here we go. All right, let's jump right back into it. Avoid laying blame. If we can agree that reality is complex, we can probably also agree that the path by which we arrived at our current reality, all the who, what, when, where, and why that guaranteed we'd end up with the poor results on our plates today, is equally complicated. How do we talk about that? How do we talk about our mistakes and failures without shutting people down, without putting everyone on the defensive? Here's a thought for your consideration. In any situation, the person who can most accurately describe reality without laying blame will emerge as the leader, whether designated or not. Author Edwin Friedman said that. Easy to say, hard to do. And yet one of the secrets of success in conversation is to be able to disagree without being disagreeable. Most people point the finger. He did it, she did it, they did it, or didn't do it. Such fault finding invariably provokes all of our defense mechanisms, thus slamming the door on the possibility of frictionless debate and resolution. I witnessed the aftermath of such dynamics when a new CEO was appointed to lead a company out of a difficult period. I knew quite a few people who worked for the organization. The new CEO, Roger, had a tough job on his hands. Employees had become disillusioned by the behavior of his predecessor. Roger attempted to turn the tide with an iron-fisted style of leadership. It seemed to many that Roger was unwilling to listen to advice and that, in fact, those who challenged his course were considered enemies. The talk in the hallways and private offices was grim. Another failure of leadership seemed inevitable. Many withdrew their support from Roger, and he received the unfortunate nickname Dead Man Walking. At an informal staff gathering in the lunchroom, as several employees recounted Roger's latest missteps, one employee, Elizabeth, said, "I am troubled at what we are doing here. I've been guilty of bashing Roger, and I'm sitting here feeling ashamed." Guiding the organization at this time would be a difficult job for anyone. Morale is in the tank, revenues are sliding, customers are complaining, and Roger's trying to lead us through this morass and out the other side. I wonder what we could do to support him. Another employee responded, "Come on, Elizabeth, nobody can talk to Roger. He won't listen to us." Elizabeth said, "Then how can we make ourselves the kind of people he will listen to? Maybe we need to change our approach. And how well do we understand his current strategy?" The mood shifted around the table as individuals contemplated the possibilities and began to offer suggestions. Elizabeth asked for a meeting with Roger the next day and began their conversation with these words: "I am here for two reasons. First, to apologize for my criticism of you behind your back and for my lack of support. I realize that my attitude has been a hindrance, and I want you to know that I've got a greatly improved attitude today. I'd like to help you in any way that I can. Second, I'd like to suggest a meeting with the staff. As our leader, you need our support, and I'd like you to receive it. Some potentially good ideas have been withheld from you because of fear of reprisal. I hope you'll entertain them and also share with the staff as many details as possible about your strategy for this coming year and the thinking behind it. I believe this could serve as a turning point for all of us and for the company." Over the next few months, Elizabeth emerged as a highly respected agent for positive change in her organization. No more buts. Throughout this book, you will gain many tools that will help you explore profound and provocative territory around reality in your workplace and in your life, to help you improve at describing reality without laying blame. A simple and effective shift you can make is to remove the word "but" from your vocabulary and substitute the word "and." I like what you've done here, but will be better. Received if you say, "I like what you've done here, and..." For example, in a conversation with an employee, this is how things typically go. "I know you want more time to complete the project, but the deadline is looming. You want me to help out in Boston, but I have only a small window in which to make some critical things happen in Seattle. I'd like to help you, but I have no easy choices right now. You seem stressed, but I need you to deliver this project on time with minimal involvement on my part." Most people are shocked to discover how many times they use the word "but" during the course of a day. At a workshop in Dallas, Rob Brown, a CEO whose company builds an astonishing quantity of pulpits and lecterns, suggested that yes, but is an acronym for your evaluation superlative. Behold underlying truth. If you substituted and every time, you would ordinarily use the word but, the conversation might go like this. I know you want more time to complete the project and the deadline is looming. You want me to help out in Boston and I only have a small window in which to make some critical things happen in Seattle. I'd like to help you and I have no easy choices right now. You seem stressed and yet I need you to deliver this project on time with minimal involvement on your part. In other words, this is true and this is true as well. It doesn't lessen the employee's challenge, but it feels better, doesn't it? To both parties. Multiple realities are not competing. They just exist. You own a piece of the truth and so do I. Let's figure out what to do. Yes, I use the word but in this paragraph. Sometimes it's okay. The challenge is to recognize when but might shut someone down. It's good stuff. Here's the assignment. Over the next 24 hours, practice describing reality accurately without laying blame at home and in your workplace. To help with this assignment, catch yourself wherever you are about to say but and replace it with and. You may struggle with this assignment, and that's where the learning is, in the struggle. Get good at this, and your leadership, your career will gain momentum, aliveness. At home, well, things will gentle down. Family members will open up, participate fully in conversations, whether you're the boss or not. After all, your version of reality is as good as anybody's. Keep in mind that reality can never be absolute and that it isn't something that is handed to us. Clarity develops as we thoughtfully consider all aspects of a topic. To encourage colleagues to voice their views candidly, you might explain the beach ball analogy and say, you can count on me to tell you what I think and feel and how I've arrived at my perspectives. I invite you to do the same, especially if you disagree with my view. Our differing perspectives are invaluable. After all, our goal is to make the best possible decisions for the company, not to be right about our individual points of view. At a recent gathering of key employees from all points on the globe, a corporate client passed out beach balls with one of the 4 focuses for the year printed on 4 stripes: financial accountability, speed, new technology, innovation. He instructed everyone, as we implement our action plan, we need to regularly interrogate reality from these perspectives. Sometimes they will compete. However, we must be advocates for each stripe on our own corporate beach ball. Speak boldly on behalf of your stripe. Above all, as you describe reality from your perspective, do not lay blame. Each time you describe reality accurately without laying blame, you create a kind of force field around yourself, one that feels good to others. And as you make the subtle change of deleting the word but from your vocabulary, you'll notice the change in the tone and the outcome of your conversations. I want to turn now to a second conversational approach that is ACEs at interrogating reality. It can be used with a team or one-to-one. It's my Swiss Army knife. I will introduce it in this chapter and go through it in depth later in the book. Okay, we got a nice big another section here. So you're still on chapter 1. Cool beans, good stuff. Replace the word but with and. Thinking about different realities of different people and bringing everything to the table to come to the right conclusion. So you don't come to someone with like accusatory language. You really look to see things from their side of view. And in that way you can present your side of view and you can come to a conclusion without it being, this dominating type of situation. Because ultimately you're trying to get someone to do what you want to do, or not even what you want to do, like what's best for the company. That's always the underlying thing. So you have to take the you out of it. You got to take the personal stuff out of it, because then it becomes this like, I'm right, you're wrong, you listen to me, blah, blah, blah. But it's like at the end of the day, the person still has to execute on what it is you would want to have happen. And you need their buy-in to do that. So becoming partners with them in terms of talking and listening and strategizing is a much better approach to it.